the best point guard from every NBA team. As opposed to last year, we're going to include either bench players or starters. We're also going to include injured players as long as they're not career altering. And once we get to the top 10, we're going to be comparing the players' rankings this year to where they were ranked in last year's video to add some extra fun to it. So let's get started. Number 30, the Knicks with Frank Ntilikina. I mean, no words here. The fact that he's still the Knicks starting point guard though is rough. 29, the Mavs with Seth Curry. Some people might have been expecting Doncic for Dallas because a lot of people say he plays point guard, but I mean he starts alongside Seth, who's a true point guard. And Luka's really just a positionless player, but a small forward more than anything else. So Curry gets the spot. Number 28 goes to the Lakers for Alex Caruso, the GOAT. This year, he's doing what no Laker, not even LeBron James, he's doing what no man has ever done, and bringing the balding head into style. Alright, for real though, he is the GOAT, and LeBron really has been playing point guard this season, and has been doing a great job at it. But just to not overcomplicate things, I'm going to be including him in the small forward video. Then number 27 goes to the Bulls for Kobe White, currently averaging 13 points, but only 2 assists a game, which is odd. But if he can change that, it's only a matter of time before he's the Bulls starting point guard. Then 26 goes to the Magic for Markelle Fultz. Markel's finding his way, slowly, but let's hope he gets back to 100% one day. And pause right here, can we take a minute? Markelle Fultz got drafted, had some crazy weird mystery shoulder injury, forgot how to shoot, fixed his shoulder, and completely relearned how to shoot the ball before Ben Simmons has ever made a regular season three-pointer. What? 25 goes to the Spurs, and this one could just as easily go to DeJounte Murray or Patty Mills, but we're going to give the slight edge to Murray here. 24, the Timberwolves with Jeff Teague. With how little we've heard from Jeff Teague since he's been on the Wolves, it's hard to believe he was ever an all-star at one point. The Clippers take number 23 for Patrick Beverley, and I originally had Beverley a few spots higher, but I mean just defense alone can only get you so far. Beverley may be the best defensive point guard in the league today, but that's all he's got going for him. Number 22 goes to the Pelicans for Lonzo Ball. It was supposed to be Lonzo's year to break out again. He does look more composed and experienced on the court, and the physical aspects of his shot look a lot better, but I mean he's still putting up basically the same stats he did as a rookie, so I couldn't realistically rank him any higher than number 22. But as a few guys are teaching us this year, it's never too late for a breakout season. Alright, maybe scratch that. It might be a little too late for the Wizards at 21 with Isaiah Thomas. IT still fully believes in himself, but I think it's clear at this point that the old him is never coming back. He's still not terrible though, he'll just probably be a 6-man or something along those lines from here on out. Someone who has broken out recently though is number 20 for the Miami Heat with Kendrick Nunn. There's a ton of new players that have stepped up this year, and it's been great to see, and Kendrick's one of them. He went from being unheard of to now being 20th on the list of best point guards from every team. As expected though, some of his hype has died down a little because teams are doing a little bit of a better job at slowing him down because they know what to expect from him. But he's still averaging 17 a game right now, so let's hope he keeps that up. 19, the Hornets and Devontae Graham. In casual Hornets fashion, they get Terry Rozier for $20 million a year, then find out they have Graham who's slightly better, averaging 18 and 7 a game, getting paid $1.3 million a year. Rozier still is getting used to his starting role, but Devontae's clearly the Hornets' best right now, and could rank higher as the year goes on. The number 18 goes to the Grizzlies for Ja Morant. From the little we've seen from Ja already, there's no denying that he's going to be a star in the NBA in the next few years, with him currently putting up 18, 6, and 3 to start the season. He'll definitely rank higher down the line as his game gets more polished, and as soon as he quits making small rookie mistakes and gets more consistent. And those reasons are why number 17 belongs to the Cavs and Colin Sexton, because he's been eliminating a lot of those small problems with the experience he's gotten now being in his second year. And at first I wasn't really a big fan of his, but he's really starting to develop into a great player on both ends. I don't know that he'll ever become a real star, but in only a second year so far, he looks great. 16, the Suns with Ricky Rubio. Now the past few players are much better scorers than Rubio, but what he has over all of them is more experience. And it didn't really feel right to rank any of them over Rubio, especially with how much he's changed the way the Phoenix Suns look this year. He's just the playmaker that they needed to go alongside Devin Booker, and early on it's easy to see that that's true. Another solid fit on their new team is the Pistons at number 15, which goes to Derrick Rose. Reggie Jackson's the starter when healthy, but Derrick's the clear better player, and looks like he's on the path to having a similar year to what he did last last year, averaging about 18 a game off the bench. And his bench role makes sense, given how the Pistons are built. It's great to see him reviving his career, but we need to start seeing him take a lot more threes. 14, the Bucks with Eric Bledsoe. I mean, Bledsoe's a solid point guard, but it's clear the Bucks should have done what they had to keep Malcolm Brogdon. But we'll get to that in a minute. As for Eric though, he fits in perfectly here on this list right around the halfway mark because he's really a solid middle of the road kind of point guard. But then we step things up a little bit with number 13 and the Kings and De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron's slowly making his way into the top 10 point guard discussion, and if things go as planned he'll end up there in no time, but for right now this is where he ranks. And surprisingly the Kings have done a solid job at surrounding him with a lot of talent, but also surprisingly they're still not a winning team. Hopefully as he gets better though, he can be the one to change that. And now we can get to number 12 with the Pacers and Malcolm Brogdon. If the current Bucks never win a championship, we can always trace it back to them giving Middleton a max contract and Bledsoe $70 million over 4 years while letting Brogdon walk, who's currently putting up nearly 20 and 10 a night, outperforming both of those guys, and is also a much better fit in Milwaukee than Bledsoe is for his ability to shoot. And because of his shot is why I think he's going to be a perfect fit when Victor Oladipo comes back. And speaking of perfect fits, another one is number 11 for the Denver Nuggets and Jamal Murray. Jamal's shown that he can be a second option on the Nuggets, and he's only 22. He showed in the playoffs that himself and Jokic could be a dynamic duo, and he can really help lead a team. Don't get me wrong, Jamal still needs a lot of work. I mean, he's clearly not a traditional passing point guard, but still needs to work on creating opportunities for his teammates, as well as working on his defense, which he got exposed for in the postseason last year. So currently his max contract might seem bad, but I think he'll be worth it if he continues to grow as a player as much as he had already. And it's gonna take time. I mean, if you think of it, he started out as the team's backup shooting guard in his first year, and has had to adjust to being the starting point guard for the past few seasons. Then number 10 goes to the Jazz and Mike Conley. And now we're in the top 10 where we can compare players' rankings to what they were last year. And Conley ranks in the same spot that he did last year, even though that it's safe to say this season he's been off to a pretty slow start. But he's done enough over the years to where just a slow start isn't really going to bring him down too many spots. And you really can't blame him for his start. He spent 12 years in Memphis, and this is the first time he's ever switched teams. So let's hope that's the reason for it. Because his game should be a perfect fit in Utah, with him able to facilitate and create shots for Gobert and Bojan, and to help take pressure off of Mitchell in the backcourt. Number 9, the Thunder with Chris Paul. And this is a huge drop for Paul, who was ranked in at number 3 last season, which was pretty questionable in itself, but either way a lot has changed since then, clearly. And he's putting up pretty similar numbers to last season. But he's on a bad team, and now most of the players ranked ahead of him have gotten a lot better. Nothing against CP3 here, but he's lost a lot of the thunder he's had around him from past years. Okay, see what I did there? Seriously though, still a great player, but definitely deserved to be dropped down a few spots in my opinion. The number 8 goes to Philly and Ben Simmons, who ranks in one spot higher than he did last year. And I get that Philly's roster is crowded, but nothing's changed in his game since then. He only moved up one spot because Chris Paul dropped down. He's averaging slightly worse stats, still can't shoot, and it's gonna get old talking about pretty quickly if things keep up like they have. As a 6'10 point guard that was compared to LeBron, he's got the ability to take over games and really has the potential to be even a top 3 or 4 point guard in the league, but just isn't headed anywhere near that direction, at least yet. So hopefully things change pretty soon. Then number 7 is for the Hawks and Trae Young. And this is a ranking where people are either going to be on my side or call me crazy. And if you think I'm crazy, go ahead. Trae was ranked in at number 16 last year and has moved up 9 spots to start the year. Way more than anyone else on this list. And right now I fully stand by the fact that he should rank here at this current moment. The man's averaging 27 and 9 assists a game, almost 40% from 3. I was a little more conservative ranking him in my best player from every team video because I didn't know if this hot streak would last and I didn't want to make too much of a hot take at the time, but now I'm convinced he's just this good. He's still on a bad team and may lack on defense, but with how good he is as a leader and on offense, I do think he deserves to be ranked over Ben Simmons for now. Then the 6th spot goes to the Raptors and Kyle Lowry. And it was very surprising to me that I ranked Lowry at this same number 6 spot last year because I thought he would have been a lot further back. But this is where he was and where he deserves to be this year. He definitely gets some credit for helping the Raptors to a championship, and definitely gets even more credit for how good he's played alongside Fred VanVleet in the starting lineup and with Pascal Siakam. I don't know for sure that he'll continue continue on this pace, but right now he's putting up a solid 21-6 a game and has done a great job at helping keep the team look great even after losing Kawhi. Number 5, the Celtics with Kemba Walker. And Kemba moves up 2 spots from last year when he ranked in at number 7. And honestly, if he can keep things up and continue to help the Celtics and their young guys look as good as they have, he could maybe even move up a couple spots before too long. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. He's been a great leader and is on pace to average 25 a game again this year, and after suffering through all those horrible years in Charlotte, he definitely deserves to finally be on top of the Eastern Conference. Number 4, the Rockets with Russell Westbrook, who ranks in at the same spot as he was last year. Russ may not necessarily be playing as good as he has in the past, but we know how good he is and how good he can be. But what he's doing and what he started to do last year is what we've wanted him to do all along and be a clear second option. And he's doing a much better job at it than myself and a lot of other people thought he would. So huge props to Westbrook here, and even though his stats have suffered, we're not going to drop him down any spots for playing exactly how he should be on the Rockets. Work on your 3-point shot though, come on. Number 3, the Nets and Kyrie Irving. And he falls back a spot from number 2 where he was last year. Even though he's on pace to easily have the best individual year of his career, putting up nearly 30 points a game this season, the Nets aren't doing so good as a team. I mean, Irving's a ball dominant point guard that plays a lot of isolation when he's the star. It was clear the past 2 years and is again this year. And to back it up, last season, Brooklyn as a team was 8th in assists. This year so far, they're 28th. And the Celtics are also looking much better this year with Kemba Walker instead, which isn't a good look for Irving. He left the Cavs to be the superstar, but by the looks of it, he's probably much better off as being a great second option instead. Then someone in a little bit of a similar situation is the Blazers with number 2 and Damian Lillard. A big improvement for Dame though, who last year ranked in at number 5. And it's weird to rank him ahead of Kyrie when they're pretty much in the same boat. Lillard's also averaging a career high 30 a game, and his team isn't playing good. But while on paper it is similar, we know this is a different circumstance, and the reason the Blazers aren't playing well relies on maybe everything except Dame. And it's easy to believe because we've seen what he's done with worse teams in the past as the guy and the leader for the team. I do believe though that as the year goes on, these guys will get things together. Then number 1 goes to the Warriors and Steph Curry. And I know this isn't an exciting choice or one that a lot of people want to see. The Warriors are a joke right now, and they were looking like it before Curry even went out with an injury. But when healthy on a healthy Warriors team, Steph's still the best point guard in the league, and nobody has done nearly enough to knock him out of that spot. Hopefully we don't have to wait until next season to see him return and prove it though. And that's gonna wrap things up. The rest of the rankings are coming up pretty soon, so comment down below and let me know if you liked seeing the comparisons to last year's rankings and want to see that for the other positions videos. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.